Imagine. Y254. Imagine.
Now, the Building Bridges Initiative Secretariat yesterday said that it has so far collected 1.5 million signatures. As we continue, it is now more than that. The team expected to hit 2 million signatures by the close of business today. Now, with the exercise expecting to end on Thursday this week, what are the political alignments that we expect from this document? What are the political ramifications that will come by from the BBI? Well, how is it changing our political arena? Coming forward to 2022, what are the realignments that we are expecting? Tonight, we'll talk about the political ramifications of the Building Bridges Initiative and how it is leading to the emergence of alternative leadership. Joining me on the stand, I'm joined by Frederick Okango. He is the Secretary General of Third Way Alliance Kenya and a promoter of Punguza Mizigo Kenya, and which is a popular initiative on constitutional amendments. Frederick Okango, karibu sana kwa the stand.
So much.
Now, I'm giving you 2 minutes to address the nation. Give us your stand about how the BBI is leading to political realignments in the country. Your 2 minutes starts
so
now.
Kenyans have agreed. Kenyans have had a consensus. Kenyans have had a consensus that it is time to amend the Constitution of Kenya 2010. A consensus that they need more resources in the counties. A consensus that the young people must now have a convergence zone where their issues can be sorted through legislative, policy, and administrative. Kenyans have had a consensus that the young people, the women of this country, who have been undermined through unmeted or through historic gender imbalance, it is time to fix the issues. It is time to fix our constitution for the socio-economic and political inclusivity. We believe that as Kenyans, we shall make that decision at the referendum. That is my stand.
Thank you very much. That is Fred Okango. You may have your seat. Introducing next my guest tonight on the stand. I'm joined by Cornelius Chesire. He is the Secretary General of the Kenya Youth Alliance and the founder of Netan Youth Association, also director at Pix World Adventures. Karibu sana Chesire. Now, I'm giving you 2 minutes to address the nation. What is your stand about the BBI and how it is leading to political realignments in the country? Your 2 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much. I believe it's time, and indeed it is time for Kenya to have a conversation on its future. But indeed we believe that it is time also to be cautious of that time. The speed at which we rush things might end up backfiring on us. We believe that it is time for Kenyans to be given sufficient and adequate time and resources and documents to go through. So we call for better sensitization and more in-depth engagement with Kenyans to understand the document before rushing them to get signatures which they do not know even the content of that document. The rush in which we are going at which we say, yes, this is a document that will shape our political future. It is a document that will shape our social and economic future. And we must be very cautious on how we address it.
Thank you very much, Chesira. You may have your seat there. Remember, it is the 1st of December 2020. The stand is coming to you live from the broadcasting house here in Nairobi, Kenya. At now 8 minutes past 8 p.m. The stand starts now. My name is Ram Aguko. Now, my panelists tonight have given their stand, but what is your stand? Remember, the hashtag, as always, is the stand KE at Y254 channel and at Ram Aguko. What are your thoughts on the political realignments caused by the Building Bridges Initiative document? Remember, as of now, we are over 1.5 million signatures and counting, expecting it to end on Thursday. What do you think about the implications of the BBI? Now, gentlemen, karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Chesire, first time to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure.
Before we head over to the BBI, it is the 1st of December. World AIDS Day. What are your thoughts in regards to this? Just in a nutshell, within just 1 minute, there have been reports that came out in regards to the AIDS pandemic, and the numbers have reduced in some places, but now in some regions it is not as pleasing as others. Let me start with you, Fred, about the World AIDS Day.
Thank you so much, Ram. And I think it is important to acknowledge that today, world over, the stigma that came with AIDS is dying. But unfortunately, we have seen a demographic that is now getting into the statistics, that is the young demographic of age between 13 to 18 to 20. If you look at the recent report, it shows that young people are now getting infected. Is very worrying because there is a very energetic age that is productive. But I want to believe that with the time, this is an issue that is a global issue that we can sort. But again, the country has put measures in place. Going forward, the provisions of ARVs, the provisions of ensuring that people take care of themselves and protect themselves from contracting HIV. But the most important thing that Kenyans must know and the world must know, HIV is not a death sentence.
Yeah. Cornelius?
We've come a long way as a country and the entire world, and we appreciate that we've arrived at a position that we can appreciate that HIV is real, and the protection levels have increased. Although I want to take this opportunity on this day to call on parents to be the guardians. Let's not us leave the issue of addressing HIV/AIDS and its components to teachers and the government. As parents, they must take responsibility, also engage their children so that they can be protected, because the worrying trend at which the young people are getting infected is something that we must be concerned with as a country.
And on that note, it's important to note that the number of AIDS infected cases among the youths and teenagers has increased. Considering that, I think it is a call to action for all of us as Kenyans, as parents, as a nation, to look into that. Happy World AIDS Day to everyone. On behalf of the team right here on the stand, we wish you Happy World AIDS Day. Now, let's head over to the agenda of the day. And I would like to pull up a statement from the Linda Katiba movement. They have... they've come up quite strongly of late, and
Who are those?
Linda Katiba movement.
Yeah.
It includes people like Honorable Martha Karua.
Oh, okay.
People like activist Boniface Mwangi. Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's pull up. I think that you know who they are. You know who they are. Come on.
I don't know.
He's playing political.
He's playing politics, yeah.
No. I mean, really, this is informative. I don't know them. I know Martha Karua.
Okay.
As a politician.
Do you have that statement by the Linda Katiba movement? Maybe my director, you can pull it up. Now, this is the statement in regards to that. They say that the Constitution of Kenya is not broken, but I'd like to bring our attention to the last paragraph of this document, of this statement, and let me just read it. Maybe my director, you can be able to zoom into the last paragraph. Our statement, therefore, is that our Constitution is fine. Katiba iko sawa. The electoral grievances can and should be addressed by implementation of the recommendations from the Kriegler report and the relevant provisions of our Constitution, and in particular Article 10 and 86 of the Constitution. It goes on and says that the Linda Katiba movement calls upon Kenyans to demand that the electoral process is reviewed and its chronic failures addressed before the 2022 general elections. Katiba iko sawa. Ni kweli katiba iko sawa kweli? Fred, do you agree with this statement?
Ram, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is a very progressive constitution. That is one of the consensus that we have as a people. But we have had challenges in the implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And I'll give you 3 principles that have had challenges in implementing. And therefore, anyone who wants to assume that Katiba iko sawa is a liar and is an activist who is using this moment to get money so that he or she can make noise. I'll tell you, the Constitution is a living document. You must breathe life into it to implement it. And one of the reasons why the draft out of Constitution of Kenya 2010 provided 3 articles, 255 to 257, is so that it can help in the amending, and amending helps in implementation. Number 1, when they say Katiba iko sawa, while the current parliament is not properly constituted, it lacks the 2/3 gender principle, which is a Bill of Rights in Article 27, and a constitutional principle in Article 81B. When they say Katiba iko sawa, while the population in this country provide that there are certain areas that are are underrepresented, the population is so high and the representation is so low, that means they do not comply with the provision of fair representation and equality of vote in Article 81D. When they say that Katiba iko sawa, while we know very well that there's a requirement in Article 89 that talks of delimitation of electoral units because of the population, and that has not been complied with, Katiba iko sawa wapi? I want to say, these are people who are looking for relevance in a wrong way. They are looking for relevance and they're not offering solution. We say the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is progressive. However, the provisions in 255 to 257 provide for amendment to make it better. What we are doing currently as the proponents of constitutional amendment are making the constitution better so that it can be implemented with a lot of efficiency.
Cecil, Katiba iko sawa?
When we passed Constitution 2010, both yes and no agreed that 20% of the Constitution had some challenges, and we had to go back and refine it after 2010. I do believe there are some contentious issues within the Constitution that must be streamlined. Yes. So the biggest question would be, is BBI the solution to those challenges or those gaps that are in the Constitution? That is the biggest question. But the question of whether Katiba iko sawa or not is not here nor there. Because even if you go back, you listen to Kina Martha Karua, during 2010 elections, referendum, they were all part and parcel of yes, but they all agreed that there is a 10-20% that we must come and fix.
When you look at the statement by and we'll be getting into the Linda Katiba movement, because they've come up strongly with the hashtag Linda Katiba.
Unfortunately, it's not trending. I haven't seen it. I live on Twitter. I haven't seen it.
Hey, okay.
I mean, really.
Makueni Governor Kivuta Kibwana has moved to the Supreme Court. He is seeking advisory. Yes. He gave a statement yesterday. I also remember last week, Kericho County and Nandi. Yeah, they also did the same. But now Kibwana argues that changing the constitution through the popular initiative is not available for government, state officers or its organs.
Ram.
Yes.
Because that matter has already been filed, I don't want to go again as a sub judice rule, but I'll tell you.
You stand on it.
I'll tell you the facts around it, because the facts do not affect the sub judice rule. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 257 that provides for what we call popular initiative. You know, Professor Kibwana is a teacher of law, and unfortunately, the politics is denying him the opportunity to be a teacher of law. Now, that provision says that there shall be a promoter of a constitutional amendment through a popular initiative, what we did with the Punguza Mzigo. And that promoter can be anyone.
Whether they are government or
Can
not.
be anyone. For as long as you meet the requirements that you shall submit a bill that is formulated from the general propositions and at least 1 million signatures of registered voters, then IEBC shall take it from there to the county assemblies. If they approve majority of the counties, to the National Assembly, Senate, they approve, they don't approve, we go to the referendum. And therefore, to answer you, I like the jurisprudence that, Professor Kivuta Kibwana, somebody I respect a lot, is trying to do. But unfortunately, the political lenses that is clouding him are denying him the opportunity to teach law. And therefore, I submit that Professor Kivuta Kibwana is playing politics, because it will be a very big waste of court's time to interpret a provision in the Constitution of Kenya. While that is, the government institutions can seek interpretation from Supreme Court, it is their right. That's okay. But I believe there is a deliberate attempt to stall the will of the people who would want to see a very clear constitution that is implementable. The constitution that we have today, we are able to implement it. But there are certain gaps, and I've given an example. Gender, achieving the 2/3 gender principle. It has been tried by Duale, Sholei. In fact, that the parliament has tried it 4 times, has failed. The provision of fair representation based on, equality of vote, it is not working. And therefore, I submit again that Professor Kivuta Kibwana is doing the right thing, but he's doing it wrongly.
Yet, the Linda Katiba movement are seeking publicity, in your view.
Look at Linda Katiba, look at Kivuta Kibwana,
All
then look
politics.
at Nandi and others.
Kericho.
Then you can see where they are converging. You can see the coordination. In fact, I dare say in your show tonight that the coordination seems to be happening from a certain quarter. And I can tell you, Kenyans are wiser. Kenyans are braver. We are saying, as the people who believe in this country, as the young people who want to see progressive constitution that is implementable, that the old will not come along our way to cut corner with our lives in the name of gagging or in the name of stopping an initiative that is for the young people.
You feel as though it's not an illegality to use state machinery to push for.
I don't know what is a state machinery, but I know what the Constitution says about initiating a population.
It's quite I would say that yes, Kivuta Kibwana has his right to pursue the matter in courts, but we must be cautious with times. We are in a political season, and we are in a political process. Referendum is a political process.
Absolutely.
So Kivuta, Martha Karua and the rest are also politicians, and they might pull their cards to play their politics, to become famous.
But
Both of them
is what they are saying holding water.
What they are saying in legal terms do not hold water, because it is like saying the state officers are not Kenyans, because there's no any other constitutional chapter, section or article that does bar the state officers from participating in any referendum or calling for a referendum. The biggest issue that I would raise is when we use the state machinery and the state personalities to push for a certain agenda, do we push it at the interest of the Kenyans, or do we push it at the interest of just but a few? We must dissect that aspect to be able to understand that yes, we can use state machinery, but in a bipartisan manner. You do not expect that an administrative, the provincial administrative, to be part and parcel of campaigning for a document that is expected to be subjected to a democratic process of voting yes or no, because they will be negatively influencing that outcome.
Boniface Mwangi tweeted this, sema watu wanalazimishwa wa sign forms za BBI. Internal Security Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i wamepatia chief wa vijana targets za kila siku. If BBI is popular, State House and Raila Odinga, why use force, coercion and intimidation to get signatures?
That is where even as Kenya Youth Alliance we stand. We see, can we really be serious with what we are doing with these amendments? Because the effect of referendum and the constitutional amendments are long term. As a country, we shouldn't force people or coerce them to sign any document without understanding.
But who is forcing who? Who is
now,
doing
the
force?
state machinery, if you decide to use chief,
that's an example of a state machinery.
if you decide to use a chief to go and collect signatures, do you expect a chief to come and tell you sign here and do not sign? Many Kenyans do not understand that it's their right to reject and say, I have to go read through. As Kenya Youth Alliance, we are saying, can we also improve the sensitization on that document? That document was changed on the day that it was unveiled. The signatures, no, can we be sincere? The day that the signatures were unveiled, some of the sections had been changed.
So
by the time that document is being unveiled to the Kenyans as an amendment bill, we had removed several chapters that were several amendments that were part and parcel.
That's a very strong allegation.
You know. I listened to my brother. He's very conflicted. But that's a story for another day. When the document was launched, there are certain things that happened post-Bomas. People cried for consensus. And they said, look, we cannot have a judiciary ombudsman who is a member and having a vote in the JSC. They said, look, we cannot have multi-member constituencies, 70 of them. They said, look, we cannot have the Senate not having powers to vet public officers. All these things. They even said we cannot have National Police Service Commission transformed into Kenya Police, whatever.
Okay. Let
me just finish this statement. What happened? After that, the drafters of BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill and the BBI technical team listened to the Kenyans who wanted consensus. They did a consensus and they changed that. William Ruto has come out as one of the happiest people with the consensus. Mudavadi has come out as one of the happiest people with the consensus. The church has come out. And therefore, the changes that were made was for the people, the pastoralists have.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it was for the benefit of Kenyans.
Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. Okay. I'm going to give a right to reply. Okay. Let's listen to this.
Our signatures are not being collected, as you're saying, by chiefs or those are. Our signatures are being collected by our coordinators at the county level, at the sub-county level, and at the ward level. The other government institutions are providing facilitation and helping them to provide security, to provide all kind of the necessary facilitation that they are required out of their own job description.
Your response to that?
I wanted to just ask a simple question because my friend is a lawyer, an advocate for that matter.
And you've also heard what Honorable Junet
And I've also heard what Honorable Junet has said.
Okay.
Now, would you advise your client to append a signature on a document that he has not read? That is a question that you would answer.
I will answer you.
Okay. Now, Junet is saying that other government agencies are facilitating. Now, the reports that are out there is they're actually taking part on it. Now, as Kenya Youth Alliance, we are not saying we are taking sides. We want to be apolitical. We want the youth, because the youth are the majority who are being coerced at the moment, who are being pressured to sign the document. If yes, we really need to change this document, the Third Way Alliance gave Kenyans time, ample time to go through their document. Why don't we give Kenyans... Yes, the Punguza Mizigo. Why don't we give Kenyans an ample time to go through the amendment bill and decide if they want to go
to proceed with the referendum or not. We are not saying that yes, we don't want or we don't. We are saying, can they be given an ample time to read, even 2 weeks, 3 weeks, to read the changed amendments? Because there is a Kenyan who had an issue with the previous issues with the police commission. They had an issue with ombudsman. They had an issue with parties represented at the electoral body. All these are issues that can we now.
Let me give Okango the right to reply to his questions.
You know, number one, the method of collecting the endorsements to the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 is not by coercion. I have not seen anyone putting a gun on anyone. And I want to agree with what Junet is saying. He's saying, because this is a Kenyan initiative, it is an initiative that Kenyans must take. And by the way, Article 3 provides Kenya with that provision. They have a right and obligation to protect and defend the Constitution of Kenya. One of the ways of defending this Constitution is to ensure that you implement it and also rectify where need be. Number one, this provincial administration that people have been saying, if I listened to that tweet from Boniface Mwangi, no one has seen those photos. No one has recorded a statement that he was forced coerced. No one. Those are
he said that chiefs have given the youth targets.
Which chiefs? Who? I have not seen any. I have not read. You are the media. You have not highlighted. You should maybe highlight. But this is the point, Ram.
Yes.
The point is, in Kenya, we also know that criminals can take advantage of such an initiative, and therefore it is the duty of the government to provide security to the people while they are exercising their constitutional right in appending their signatures. Number two, it is important to understand that no one can force you to append your signatures without your knowledge. And therefore I want to ask him, I would not advise any of my friends, any of my clients, to append his or her signatures
on something that they have not
forced. But I would advise them to read the document. Remember, the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill is a culmination of a report. Today we are talking about a bill. The report has been formulated, sections of it, into a constitutional reform bill.
Okay.
Therefore, it is important to understand that why am I appending? And that's why we are here, to tell Kenyans why they should.
And I'd like the Kenyan who is watching, the Kenyans, whatever you think, whatever you say, your opinion about this, make sure that you leave as a comment. The hashtag is #TheStandKE. I want us to take a short break. We'll be back after this break, but the show continues. Do not go too far.